Welcome to Unscrew TV, New Zealand's most passionate internet wine show, and today I've got a very special guest all the way from Zurich, Mark Sukhija. Did a Masters in New Zealand wine tourism, and so I'll just hand you over to Mark to tell you a bit about what he did, what his paper was on.
Well, I recently did my master's thesis about the online marketing of New Zealand wine tourism, which lumbered me with the onerous task of spending about 8 weeks going through the New Zealand wine regions last year.
It's a tough job.
Which it's a very tough job, but I was told to do something of interest. So I've been through several of the premier regions, including Hawke's Bay, Central Otago, Marlborough.
Favourite region?
Hawke's Bay. Probably the Gimlet Gravels.
Right, okay. For any particular reason, because most people tend to like either Marlborough for a Sauvignon Blanc or Central Otago for a Pinot Noir, and given that Austria / Switzerland is very keen on Pinot Noir, I wonder whether that would be more to your liking, and the scenery fairly similar.
Certainly the scenery around Central Otago is very, very similar to that alpine scenery.
Yeah.
And actually, I've not been a great fan of Pinot, but actually, but it was actually when I got to Central Otago in 2007 that actually I became a convert to Pinot Noir.
Okay.
So that was my sort of renaissance with Pinot Noir. But I've generally preferred the bigger grapes, the Cabernet Sauvignons, that kind of grape, which is a bit more of that in Hawke's Bay, some up in Waiheke as well.
Yeah. And you're doing a couple of wine tours when you're over here for the next couple of days, Waiheke and also out west?
Doing Waiheke Island, which I did last year, and also heading back to Kimu.
Any favourites on Waiheke?
Mudbrick Vineyard.
Right, okay.
There's Syrah, I remember from last year. That was very very pleasant.
And what were the outcomes of your research about this online activity and tourism?
Well, basically we segmented the wineries into two groups.
Yep.
Those who were in tourism, they accepted visitors.
Yep.
They had a cellar door or something like that, and those who didn't. Generally, those who accepted visitors were much more active online, adopted the technology earlier, and used it more frequently. So we're talking about things like Twitter, Facebook, your social media. But still, the levels of adoption were less than what I thought they could have been.
Right, okay.
And there could have been a lot more engagement.
So any points that you could say, this is what we need to be doing for New Zealand wine and the winery and the cellar doors, what they could be doing to further enhance their brand online?
Well, I would strongly suggest actually that they get onto things like Twitter and Facebook. And Facebook has I think 500 to 700 million users now.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to reach out to potential customers who may not otherwise know about New Zealand wine.
Yeah. Because we're still a small player.
Yeah. I mean, I think the wine production here, I think, is 2 to 3% of that of the French production.
Yeah.
So actually, it's a great way to increase brand awareness and increase awareness of New Zealand wine generally. And also it can benefit individual wineries who can see what people are saying about their brand, about their wines.
Yeah.
It's a great tool for getting customer feedback and interacting with potential new customers as well.
And because you didn't like Central Otago as much, and also Pinot, we thought we'd try Pinot.
Good.
I'd have to stick it in front of my cameraman, who is it's the infamous Giampolo Grazioli.
I'm the cameraman.
And so,
but I'm actually very pleased you did pick a Central Pinot, because Central Otago Pinot is about the only Pinot Noir I'll drink these days. I do rate it very, very highly, actually.
Yep. Quite aromatic, perfumed.
It is quite perfumed, actually.
Yeah.
Much more than I remember from other Central Otago Pinots, actually.
It's got that burnt cherry, violet
Yeah, but
perfume.
it's still got a little pepperiness under there, which is...
Yeah. Yes. Now this is the second label of Carrick. For me, that's carrying a bit too much wood.
It's
Yeah.
been too oaked, actually. It seems to be too much an oak.
Yeah. You get the fruit and the primary fruit, but it's kind of dominated right now by a bit of oak. Now it's 2008. I was hoping that that fruit wouldn't have dropped out, and that it would hopefully not have masked the Pinot itself. But there is quite a lot of oak. Slightly over. Oak.
It's also not as... I mean, a lot of the Central Otago Pinots can be quite peppery as well.
Yeah.
And that, although there was a little bit of that on the nose, I didn't really find that was as prevalent as it is in some of the Pinots from Central.
Yeah. A bit disappointing as soon as I was going to show you what we can do on kind of like first and second tier label wines. For me, so that's I'd say probably a late 70s, early 80s on the point scale. I know there's a lot of controversy at the moment about kind of the relevance of points and point scoring system, and Jappa wants to try. That was a little tap on the arm. So we got two events that are coming up. Next Thursday, we've got on Thursday the 18th of August. We've got Pinot Smackdown. So if you're on Twitter or on Facebook, start using the hashtag Pinot Smackdown, and then hash the country that you're in, NZ for New Zealand, obviously, AU for Australia. Cameraman's got a bit wobbly, a bit like Keith Floyd. And then on the 1st of September, we've got Cabernet Day, where the world of social media kind of meets wine and celebrates the famous grape of Bordeaux, Cabernet Sauvignon. So hopefully we'll get to see you all using the hashtag of either Cabernet Day or Pinot Smackdown. So until next time, I'll catch you later, and thank you very much once again.
Thank you, Jason.
And hopefully a very regular visitor for many years.
I'll certainly be back in New Zealand, and will be enthusiastically guzzling my way through the country.
We need more people like you.
In the famous words of Mark the Wine Taster, I'll be back.
Exactly. And thank you very much, Giapo, for holding the camera.
Thank you, Jason.